Welcome back there, Podcast Land. Episode 22 of the Journey Unknown podcast, brought to you by Rack Attack Outdoors. Scott here.
And old Swilly.
And Bum.
We found a bum on the road.
We found him. He was actually in the woods.
Was he in the woods?
Yeah.
You kept bringing ticks in here or what?
I'm loaded with them and chiggers.
Yeah.
Man, I did see a chigger the other day. I was in Jeff City. We had a wedding, and I had a chigger crawling on me. I'm like, man, I do not like those things.
No kidding. Yeah, I was pulling ticks off, man. I hardly got out of the vehicle today.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Man, I always say I'm going to stock up on permethrin before I need it. And I've got 2 bottles, but they've been in my little tracker all winter long, and the nozzles are barely working, you know. But it's keeping a few of them from biting me, so I guess I'll just stick with that and try to order some when I can.
Yeah. I've been out in the woods chasing them turkeys, but I ain't had no luck. I don't know what's going on with them suckers.
I think you're the only
I honestly think that season's a little late this year.
I hear that, and they do that by design, but it's not fun for the turkey hunter.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, do we need to kill them all this year? No. Yeah, we're finally getting a few back, but it's like, dang, at least I could go out and hear them until maybe 7:30 instead of, if you do hear one, it's at 5:45.
Yeah. I haven't really heard nothing for gobbles.
It's just a change of the atmosphere and everything. And
I agree.
My uncle told me years ago, he said, I probably won't never live to see it, but he said these turkeys will eventually quit gobbling.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is there's just too many hens to gobbler ratio.
I hear you. Yeah. Now, was that like a quote by Fred Bear? Said one day the turkeys won't gobble, the deer won't rut, fish won't bite, something like that. And it's like, oh man, it's kind of becoming true, even especially within like the last 5 years. It's getting really noticeable.
Yeah. Mississippi River's gonna go dry.
Run and drive.
No.
That was a very wise man that told us that it's going to happen.
What, the Mississippi River?
Yeah.
Heck, what was it, last year or year before last? It was really, really low.
Yeah, when they had that big rock that was visible and be able to walk across.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I
don't remember where. You remember where that was at?
No, not right offhand.
Yeah, I'm bad about. I don't really hardly watch the news. It's full of crap half the time. When I do see it, I'm just in and out of my head.
So tell a little bit about yourself.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
I was born and raised in Winona. Spent the biggest part of my life there. I've spent a few years in Birch Tree at my first marriage. Got out of that. Moved back to Winona for a few years. I met a girl from Viburnum. Hooked up with her. Moved to Salem for a while. Married her. And then we eventually moved back down to Wapapella Lake in 2009.
Okay.
Heck
It's
yeah.
about time I got into high school.
Yeah, spent the biggest part of my life working for the highway department. I'm working on my 29th year. I'm a superintendent with Modot, and
Dang.
I'm one of them that work from the ground up, so I understand what them employees are going in and through whenever they first walk in, working their way up through.
That's good. It'd be hard to not forget that in some people's heads, you know.
It's whenever you're having a conversation with employees, a lot of times you lead off at one point in time, I started just like you did.
Right. And not make them do something you haven't done or wouldn't do.
I would never ask nobody to do something that I wouldn't feel comfortable doing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Except for Swilly, I'd make him do some weird stuff. Yeah, we've had a lot of Modot here, but like we were just talking about, just everybody just been a good old boy, you know. And I do know quite a bit of people that actually work in Modot or have been in whatnot. And I guess like with the being a good job, good benefit, and like time off, I was an outdoorsman. I mean, chalk that up for a win, you know. Yeah. Really.
Well, we're blessed in our department. We've got good leadership in our district. And I am very blessed as a superintendent. I'm just going to say I've got the best employees in the state.
It makes you sleep better at night.
I mean, they're all outdoorsmen and good old country boys. Yeah. And I'm just blessed to have them all.
That's cool. You can come in from, you know, like you were saying a minute ago, leave it all at the gate when you come in on your bad days. But if you want to take some outdoor life into the work, you can still work and have a conversation. You know, so many times you get in a spot to where you're that different guy that's taking this road, and you come in and talk, and everybody's talking about games or media or whatever, and you're like, I don't really have much to say, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I sit to myself all day in a loader, and I just listen to podcasts, and I'm having a million conversations with just me, myself, and Irene. But, you know.
Well, that's part of being a a superintendent or a supervisor within the organization. You've got to wear many hats, and a lot of people don't understand. You've got to be a marriage counselor. You got to be a high school principal. Sometimes you got to be a grade school principal, and sometimes you got to be a counselor and a marriage counselor, and sometimes a financial advisor. You wear a lot of hats that a lot of people don't understand.
Right, and you're probably learning about as much as your employees are along the way. You know, facing all them obstacles. You know, if you ever stop doing whatever you're doing, you're going to stunt your growth. I mean, figuratively speaking, but
whenever a guy quits caring for his employees, it's time to roll on down the road. I've seen a lot of people stay past what you call their lifetime. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they're wore out and they don't see there's just nothing to gain for them. Right. So as long as you're challenged and you've got good employees, it's just hard to walk away from that.
Yeah. No, I get you. Yeah, you said you're already basically your time for retirement.
Now I'm 2.5 years past.
But just keep padding in retirement then if you like it.
I'll keep asking the Lord whenever He tells me it's time to go. I'll step aside.
Hopefully, plenty of time to still, not the time to go.
Yeah. Well, if not, a guy can always resort to back what they call in Shannon County. You can be part of the National Road Hunters Association.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty big committee.
I think it's
the one-eyed coon dog.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the first time I ever heard that term. Was we was hunting over in Winona. A buddy of mine got permission to hunt this old man's place, and that's what he was sitting there talking about. We broke out the one-eyed coon dog last night, and I was like, I didn't know what he was talking about at first, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
Spotlight 5,000.
You talk about gaining knowledge throughout life. Back whenever I was an unsaved person and doing things I shouldn't have been doing, I run around with a pretty rough character. And one day he hollered at me. I was in town. And he said, "Hey, bum, let's go catch some fish. I've got a lake that I can fish." And he said, "It's really loaded with bass." And I said, "Well, I'm all in." So we went down this gravel road, and then we turned and went down a ridge road. And I said, "Well, where are we going?" He said, "Well, we got to go in the back way because the guy don't like us driving through his field." So I'm like, "Well, okay."
That makes sense.
So yeah, we get out and we hop over the guy's fence and walk 250 yards across the field. Well, we come on this lake and there's a patch of timber around it. So we go to catching bass and some bluegill, and I think it had a few crappie and maybe some catfish. Well, I was getting a pretty good stringer of fish. And I seen the ducks on the other end of the lake take off. And I looked up through the woods there was a lane that come down, a four-wheeler path, come down through it, and I seen a guy and a couple dogs come walking. Well, I turned and looked over there to see where my buddy Junior was at. Well, he was gone.
Oh, boy.
And the guy says, "What are you doing?" So I just dropped my stringer and grabbed my pole, and I had to run right through a briar bush. And he says, "Get him." And these two big old dogs start chasing me. But back in, I could run like a deer. And I just made it to the fence and got over the fence, threw my fishing pole over, and we jumped my old Toyota and we took down the gravel road. Well, we met the guy and he just stared at us and went by, and I said, "Junior, what was that all about?" And he said, "I didn't have permission to be here." So you learn from their mistakes. Be careful of who you go with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Friends will make or break you.
That's right.
It makes fast runners.
No, yeah.
I'd be in trouble today.
Yeah. Speaking of fast runners, do you guys see about the Boston Marathon, how fast they just ran that?
No, I didn't see that.
Some Kenyan guy just ran it with a bunch of them. 2 hours, I think 1 minute and 59 seconds.
How far is that?
26 miles. So he ran at a 13 miles an hour. Like the fastest I ever ran in the Marine Corps was a 20:08 3-mile, and that was like 9-something miles an hour. This guy was almost full on sprinting. Like the average human, I guess, runs like 12 to 15 or something like that. It's insane.
Yeah, that's
man.
nuts.
You could probably run like that too if you had cheetahs and lions.
I was gonna say, yeah. we had a buddy, Joe Kingethe, it was his name. He was a Kenyan, and he talked about he killed a lion with a spear when he was younger. And they're like, man, I guess that's how you got fast, wasn't it? Just escaping all your predators on day-to-day life. And
that's
he's like, yeah, I guess we're pretty much blessed to how we live here.
We are.
Yeah.
A lot of people from the city, they don't understand about the country life.
Yeah. And we don't understand the city life.
Yeah.
The roots that we have here. Back when I was young, we didn't have a lot. I didn't get my first car bought. I went and worked and saved enough money, and I was 18 years old before I actually bought my first car. Yeah. You worked during the summer mowing grass, picking blackberries, helping cut firewood, whatever you could do just to make ends meet.
Right.
Mom didn't have money, and we lived with Grandpa, and they just didn't have money to shell out. And back in, at least you had the option. You go pick pop bottles up for 10 cents a piece.
Yeah.
So there was
Yeah.
always money to be made.
Yep.
Yeah. Kind of a young entrepreneur.
Did you ever dig roots?
I have.
Like a ginseng?
Ginseng, golden seal, snake root. I actually done it for
What's
almost a year.
sassafras? You ever done the sassafras? My grandpa used to do that for us.
I used to dig the roots up and boil it and drink the tea out.
Yep.
off
My
of
grandpa
it.
made some tea. And I think they used to do that at old Greenville days, but I don't know if it was artificial, but they would say it was sassafras, like
Was
root
that
beer.
sarsaparilla, or is that what that's called?
If you, like I say, if you say it confident enough, I believe you. I don't know.
Two different things.
It seemed kind of a lost deal. I know the ginseng root is still somewhat popular, especially up in like the mountain areas. Kind of seems to be like your lower income guys will.
And you can always take that red top clover and you can boil that and make a tea
Really?
too. And it's actually good to help flush your kidney. It's good for your kidneys to drink it.
Really?
Oh, but dang.
You ever heard of that mullein? Like
That minty grass stuff.
it's like it like grows in a big stalk and it's got a big bud on top. They say that's good for your lungs.
Yeah, to smoke it.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
Yeah.
Don't always try what we're saying, but I've heard it and I tried it one time and I didn't cough up a lung and I felt all right afterwards.
When I did it, it did make me cough, but and that's what they say it's supposed to do. Is it's
Clear
supposed to
up.
like make you hack up all that mucus and stuff.
They always told me that if you smoked that stuff, you'd lose your vision. And I noticed you're wearing glasses.
You should have got wiser as a young man, Willie.
That's what my dad used to tell me about looking at pretty girls.
I should have been blind a long time ago.
You wear contacts, right?
Yeah, something like that. Today my eyes are blue, tomorrow they'll be pink.
Yeah.
So it's smack dab in the middle of opening week of turkey season.
Yeah.
Trevor, we if you're watching this will be after the video I'm about to put out. But Trevor went to Nebraska last week. I tried to go. I had my wife on hold. They had 10,000 tags. They sold out in less than 2 hours. Wow. I'm like, dang, because he's went a couple years ago. We went and bow hunted that fall for deer, and then tags went through the roof, and it's not feasible to go. But I'm like, well, Nebraska's not that far, and there's quite a few turkey. Like their nomenclature for not many turkey is a lot different than ours. Like we don't have much turkey. They have a lot more than we do. But anyhow, he went up, him and his dad. He went up, I think, Thursday, and they bow hunted for a couple days, and then he ended up shotgun hunting. He missed one, a little aggravated about it, he said, but they had some good footage and a good time, and he came in, then open morning of Missouri, he shot a bird, and he's thrilled. I'm thrilled, and
Heck yeah.
Trevor left out on the boat today, and he's been my right-hand man since I was 8 years old, and when he comes back, we're going to Wisconsin, so that'll be kind of some upcoming things we're going to talk about. And then if you listen to, well, actually, this week's isn't out yet. I've had technical difficulties with Alton Burkerson. Me, Swilly, and Alton should be going to Iowa this fall for archery season, deer season. So we're having this new series. I think I called it Road to Iowa is what I called it.
Road to Iowa.
Road to Iowa. So you'll be hearing some of that if you guys are listening and maybe get a hankering. If you're going to put in for Iowa, you better do it because it's right now at least 5 to 6 points. That's years, if not more. So you don't have many opportunities of going.
I think we're on 8 years. And you're on 7.
You'll be putting in for 8. I'll be putting in for 7. Trying to draw, and draws here in a couple weeks, which it starts and then it goes through May because today's the 22nd.
Yeah.
And then if you're listening to this as well, you need to look at Kansas is running out for points. I think it ends at the end of this month. So keep that in mind if you guys are looking to go out of state. And Kansas got some good deer hunting, and I think it requires 2 points most of the time. And I don't know if that's per zones or whatever, but just to kind of get that out there. And anyway, with that being said, have you got the turkey hunted all this week?
I have not.
You haven't?
I haven't been probably in 3, maybe 4 years.
Really?
My uncle had been sick for several years and got down and he quit hunting. That'd been my hunting partner ever since I was a little boy.
Is he the one that introduced it to you? Or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I was just little and had a lot of good memories with him, and my heart's never got over losing him. I lost him a year ago, day after Christmas, and some things just hard to get over, and I've got a lot of good memories with him, and if I never kill another turkey, I'm ahead of the game.
Well, that's a blessing, though. I mean, really, to have that in your mind because You could dwell over it and just be angry about it, but if you're content, then be content.
Yeah. And if it was back like it was in the 70s and 80s, whenever I got introduced to turkey hunting as a young child, and you could go out here anywhere from 2 dozen to 3 dozen. We have heard them up on the Upper Current River as far as you could hear, and there'd be 4 and 5, 6 on every point. You'd be calling one turkey, and 2 more come into the side strutting, and you just hear them drumming, and there they'd be.
Yeah, you hear a lot of people around, your age, within 20 years plus or minus, so they're like, they really had a passion for turkey hunting because they could go out and mess it up and not be like, man, my whole day's gone. Because right now, like you said, you're not hearing birds. A lot of guys aren't hearing birds. We have a few this year, not anywhere comparative to what it used to be, but it's tough if they're not making any noise and you're just educating them left and right, like they're just adapting. I believe they're adapting.
The difference back then than today is turkeys can't take pressure.
No.
I mean, if you bump one, I have been a few years ago, was messing with a bird, and I finally killed him on the last day. And if there was so much as a truck that come down the gravel road, he was done for the day.
Right. Yeah, I hear that a lot.
They'll
wait for it to go on, or the constant gravel popping, door shuts. They ain't saying nothing. It happens.
My buddy was telling me one time he got on a bird like that, and said he was gobbling, and all of a sudden heard gravel popping, truck stop, door slam.
Yeah.
Nothing. And then it got back in, door slammed, truck fired up, took off down the road. He said as soon as that truck got out of hearing distance, he said that bird fired off again.
Turkey's like, I'm safe now.
Yeah.
They're like anything else. They get wise to the ways.
Yeah.
You take a deer, for instance.
Yep.
A deer will pattern you. The best chance to kill a big buck is your first trip in.
100%.
Your first set.
100%.
It goes downhill from then. Mm-hmm. And where a lot of people makes mistakes, they'll ride a 4-wheeler in. Mm-hmm. They'll drive just as close as they can. A lot of times they'll be inside of a tree stand. You don't think an old buck that's been hunted 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Somebody's in here.
Mm-hmm. That's why the people, man, them bucks are curious. Well, them 2 and maybe 3-year-olds, you may get away with that. Or if you're always driving around, like I think Lee Lakowski would talk about, he drives all the time. Yeah. To get him used to that noise and people riding in on a buggy or a tractor. But I still wouldn't be, parking your rig underneath your tree stand and expect to kill a mature buck.
Mm-hmm. Well, last year my wife bought me a electric bike.
I want one so bad.
And I'm going to tell you what, after I had that, and I can put my tree stand right on the back, and where it used to take me in that walk-in area, it'd take me 48 minutes at a hard walk.
Wow.
To walk back in there to my prime spot. I'd be back there just easing along on that electric bike, 8-10 minutes tops.
Yeah.
Then I'll drive it right to the tree, lay it over on its side, and up the tree I'll go.
Yeah, man.
You wouldn't believe how many deer come in the same way I drove in on that bike.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're not disturbing nothing.
It's an advantage if a guy don't got an electric bike. There is benefits to it, and you don't have to be on a paved road. I take mine right out through the woods.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they don't weigh much. Which one do you have?
I have an Amiet.
I think there's so many of them now. I want to say I've heard of it, but that's why I asked, because I don't know what's decent and what's good.
It's a 52 volt and it's all wheel drive. You can either put it in front or
kidding.
rear. But I noticed, being a big boy like me, that if you go up a steep hill and you've got all your weight on the back, it'll wheelie up in the front, and then whenever it comes down, she's going to grab.
You like the old truck pulls, put you a weight up front.
I need to put a little bit more. I need to counterbalance that bike a little bit better.
Do you have a trailer at all for it? Or
no. I put everything on. I took the bottom part of a Summit and took radiator clamps and put it to the that's there. And
that's smart.
And then I take 2 bungee cords and just put my Summit on there, and then my backpack on top of it, and strap it down the way I go.
Have you had to take deer out yet, or do you quarter them up in the woods, or how do you get them out?
If I
call buddy? Or?
No, if I kill one, I usually just notch or just check it on my phone, and then I'll just usually debone it, everything right there.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, and then you can put it on the back.
Right.
Most time I just put my backpack right over my shoulders, and away I go.
Do you have one of them, I'm say braces? It's like a hard backpack at all, or you just stuff in with it?
It's just a soft back. But I do have one, but they're very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'd say that would be uncomfortable. I did buy some game bags this year. I went and I got drawn for Whetstone up in like Middle Missouri. Me and my buddy Trevor did, and it was all walk-in access, and guys are still bringing in bikes. You weren't allowed to, but I'd bought some game bags. Like, man, some of the places we were going, it's way in there, and the deer are a lot bigger than you are down here. I would not want to drag one out.
You'd have to have a cooler up there.
Yeah, we had a couple big coolers.
I've been up to northern Missouri. I went up to Indian Hills a few trips.
Is that northwest?
Yeah, that's just like
It's north of Edina.
30 minutes from Deer Ridge.
So, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I was thinking Indian Cave. I hunted Nebraska. It's right on the line.
And from what I seen when I went up to North Missouri, I'm just going to tell you, these deer in the country down here around these rivers, and especially around that lake where the wind swirls all the time, they're borderline genius.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And I noticed up there that, I never heard a deer blow every trip I went up there.
They don't.
Yeah.
And I killed deer every time we went up there.
Yeah.
And the guy I went with, he said, "You've got tags, fill every one of them," and I let several walk. And then I finally shot one evening, and then his nephew shot one, and we cut the back strap out of it and took it right to camp and got it on the table and beat it out with the meat hammer, and he fried it up. Oh my goodness!
Yep.
They're
different tasting, aren't they?
Their vessels are like blood vessels, like the grains on them.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is good tasting meat. That's one of our favorite things when we'd go up there to Deer Ridge. We'd kill a deer and eat it.
Yeah, I mean, it just tastes better right there over the fire,
Yeah, I mean, they've got a full smorgasbord up there. These deer down here eat brush and acorns. And
right, yeah, their primary source is like greenbrier.
We've got the genetics here.
We do.
We just don't got the food source.
Right,
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what, I mean, a lot of people, they say that northern Missouri has bigger deer, and they do have more, I think. But, I mean, I've seen some deer that come out of here that are just every bit as big as but now the bodies they're going to be bigger because I think it's a different subspecies almost once you hit a certain level. And
yeah, there's quite a few. There's I want to say 7 or 9 different species of like white-tailed deer in the United States, and they've been brought in here and there, and they adapt to their size.
Somebody was telling me the other day that our northern Missouri deer are actually Wisconsin genetics.
I believe you're right.
Because
I think they came out of Wisconsin and Montana.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
They traded turkeys, like 2 turkeys for every whitetail or something like that a long time ago.
Well, you take and you talk about the whitetail deer. We've got 2 different ones here. They introduced them back to Missouri in several places in Shannon County. Peck Ranch was one.
Yes, yep.
There was what they called down by the Shaw Ranch. I can't remember. And then up on Jack's Fork River, what they called the goat pen.
Yeah.
And my uncle always told me you got a shorter-legged deer and you've got a longer-legged deer. The red deer are the longer.
I was going to ask, like the red and the gray seems where I see the difference.
And then he called the other one a blacktail.
Yeah.
The more darker.
Got a black strip down its back.
Yep.
And down its tail.
And it's not in here.
He said that's the 2 they introduced. They introduced the black ones first, but they brought the red ones in to get more size.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed that because I always wondered what them black strips.
One of them was down on Spring Creek, down south of Winona. One was in Oregon County, and then they had the one in Peck Ranch, and then they had one in Shannon County up on the Jacks Fork, just outside of Birch Tree, and that's where they introduced the deer back to the state of Missouri. And, through the years, as a young child, my uncle would always make this phrase, you sit there and hunt a scrape long enough, you'll see the buck. Because the buck to doe ratio was slim.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they would check them scrapes every day. And I got a little older in life, and he told me, he said, let me tell you one thing. He said, why I'm so smarter than you, he said, I hunted deer whenever we didn't have no deer.
Right.
You haven't.
Yeah.
That's where he gained all that
even
knowledge.
Seeing a deer track was
they hunted it until they killed it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like really made outdoorsman.
Well, I mean, I always considered him a predator. He even had the eyes of a predator.
Like you talk about some people are hunters and some people are killers. He's just a killer.
He's just a natural.
Yeah, yeah.
He was good at whatever he hunted.
Yeah. I say I'm more of a hunter. I kill quite a bit, but I put in a lot of time. Yep. I don't just go out and kill all the time. Like I can got to weasel my way in or just get lucky.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the older you get, the more respect you get for wildlife, and once you find a deer you want to hunt, you want to put the time in to try to kill him.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
it's a big reward to do that too.
It don't mean nothing to. I mean, I've killed enough in my life. It don't mean as much as what it once did.
Yeah.
It was more of a competitive nature.
Yeah.
Because I had
and you think more of like a self-competitive?
No, it was with my uncle.
Okay. Yeah.
Back in, because I was probably grown before I ever killed a bigger buck than he was.
Yeah.
Or killed a nicer turkey.
Yeah.
Or got to where I could limit out on squirrels before he did, or catch more fish. But I watched him.
Right.
That's how I learned.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times when I was out hunting, you sit here and don't you move. Well, he was smart. He flanked me.
Yeah.
And there I was up there, leaving scent out, not paying attention, and had the wind the wrong direction. And he'd be a ridge or two over, and I'd push a deer right to him.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people, they ask me, "You've been successful whenever you hunted in Peck Ranch?" Yes, I have. I've killed about every time I've been in there and got drawed out. I've killed good deer. But there's where you hunt hunters.
Mm-hmm.
You know where to go.
Yeah.
90% of the people's gonna go to the fields.
Yeah.
So you go up above,
Right.
and you know where the crossings is at, and you set up. And them deer, even in like Peck Ranch, they get smart, because I've never killed a deer in there right off the bat. You'll see a lot of does and small bucks come through, but whenever they hear them vehicles, doors are slamming and the gravel go to popping, and they know, then they try to get to cover. Mm-hmm. That's when you'll kill a good one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think I ran into that at Whetstone this year too, because man, we seen so much sign. It was unbelievable. And anybody that we would run into and talk to would have a story or a picture that they've killed or their buddies have killed, and it was just astronomical, the size of these deer. But we got a couple glimpses of them. They didn't come in close. We saw a few. We saw bucks. If we did see deer, we didn't see many, but if we did, we usually saw a buck with more, actually majority times, than a doe. But they were the young ones, just curious. It was rut. They had one thing on their mind. But that had to be the case, that everybody was coming in. And even though we would be walking, or some people were riding their bikes 1 or 2 miles in, still they have their spots that are deeper that we're just like, I ain't going in there. And that's where they're hiding out at, because we talked to a lot of guys, and only a couple of them had killed big bucks while we were up there. And there's quite a few people. We had probably 25, 30 people that got drawn at that time. And I only heard of like 3 that within 3 weeks, that was decent bucks got killed. But they're smart, and like you said, they're just adapting, and they know when the pressure's on.
Deer, they'll pattern you.
Yep.
Don't think they won't, because they will.
And you talking about like the hills and stuff down here. I got a pretty big farm down the road, and I kill a lot of my bigger bucks on it, but it's like, it's not fish in a barrel. I mean, I put in some time, and then if you have deer out in the field, and if you see a car coming and hear a gravel popping, buddy, they are gone. I mean, they don't play no games, and they'll bed up on these ridges, and especially when the leaves come off, they can see you coming in. Yeah. And if you think the wind's good, if it's blowing out of the west that day, you might as well be blowing out of northeast, southwest, because you're going to get picked off. That's
one thing I had to really adapt to when I moved up there on Wapapella around that lake.
Because Winona's more rolling hill, isn't it?
Yeah, it's big, steep hills.
Is it steep over there? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't want to go up there and try to hunt and be out of shape.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've only been up there a few times.
It's rough country, especially whenever you get down around that river.
Okay.
They're straight up and down. But the difference I noticed down up where I was born and raised than over around that lake. That lake is so wide open, the wind to just come there and hit them ridges and bounce off.
Okay.
Even though you think you've got a straight north to northwest wind, and you go sit up for a north to northwest wind, and you get up there and you get sit down, and you've got it just perfect, and then all of a sudden you feel that hit your neck hairs, and you're like, what in the world?
Yep.
That was really tough to overcome that. So you just, on a situation like that, you just position just a little bit different. You got to be able to adapt and just position your stand just a little bit more to the east a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Would you ever mess with heights too and see where your thermals are blowing?
I have.
Yeah. I'm trying to pay more attention to that as I get older.
I've climbed 30 foot. I've climbed 20 foot. I've climbed 15 foot. But 90% of the big bucks I ever killed, I killed off the ground.
Really?
With a bow or a rifle.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Kind of waiting them out or stalking? Or
just, when I was younger, I just learned from the way my uncle done things. Mm-hmm. And he would always take like a squirrel. You ever been out in the woods and you hear a squirrel?
Oh, yeah.
They'll use and then they'll stop.
Yeah, it's like a 3 and a heavy.
And you watch a deer, because I've watched them. They don't pay that no mind. but you come blundering down through the woods, they know the difference.
Yes, they do.
So my uncle taught me at a very early age to not walk on your toes and just the ball of your foot up there. Don't never bring your back foot down whenever you're stalk hunting. You make less noise. And always sit where you got cover. You look for a treetop, a down tree where you can get beside of it, a root wad, etc.
Yeah.
If you do have to sit out, cut you a few dogwood limbs and blend in. But there's kind of an art to that. And, you know, it's just things that you learned. But since I moved down here, I've had to go more to a stand because of a swirling wind. And usually, and it depends on where you're at. I hunt a lot different than a lot of people do. I won't go in a holler in the evening because the air is falling.
Right.
I hunt in the holler in the mornings.
Right. Makes sense. Thermal's rising.
And there's 3 keys to success on deer. If you was a deer and somebody's hunting you, or if the deer was hunting you, say the deer was hunting you and you had to think like a deer.
Right.
Where would you go? Easiest access to escape. Brush. I'm a brush hunter. If I can see 250 yards and wide open, I'm not going to be there.
Right.
I want to be in the tightest, thickest cover, and 90% of the deer, the mature bucks I've ever killed, have been 50 yards or closer.
Yeah.
On the ground or in a tree. Just like a saddle. A lot of people like to hunt saddles.
Yeah.
I do too, but this comes with experience. I don't sit up right in the saddle. I go to one side or the other.
See, I've made that mistake of sitting right in the very top.
Because a buck, even though a doe, he's pushing her, she'll come across that saddle. He'll skirt it.
Yep,
He'll go around
I
like
agree.
that and then pick her up
Yep.
and not break across it because 99% of your saddles are wide open.
Yep.
And that's something that my uncle taught me at an early age. You've got to think like a big buck. And that's, I like rolling fingers. Little rolling heels, the tips, because the deer can walk around them. It's easy access to make the getaway, and they can wind everything above them and below them.
Right.
Just like I used to hunt a lot of scrapes, and I never could be successful on it. So I talked to my uncle, and he said, you know, he'd always call you a dumb ASS. Yeah. You know, it's what he, if he'd get aggravated, he said, a buck won't come down the middle of the ridge, a mature buck in the middle of the daylight. They're 12 to 2 at night. But if they do come and check them after a rain, he said get under the turn of the hill because they're bad to walk underneath of them and wind.
Yeah.
And they'll have the wind in their favor. So one day I was up there watching the scrape line and I seen a doe break across and I could hear that buck grunting. I could see the top of his back and the top of his points sticking up. I didn't listen, I learned.
Yeah, right. Yep.
So that's where you got to make them adjustments. These old timers, a lot of people don't give them credit. Just like I used to talk to a guy whenever I lived up north Missouri. I got big into flathead fishing. And he lived there his whole life. Nice guy. Always wore a straw hat and he'd sit down and drink coffee and he'd smoke them cigarettes that you twisted up.
Roll your own.
Yeah. Pall Mall or I don't know, whatever they.
I don't.
Prince Albert can. So I got to visiting him, and he told me what to do, every circumstance, but he'd only give you one fishing tip a day because he wanted you to come and visit every day.
Yeah.
So whenever the fishing got tough, I'd go over and he'd pour me a cup of coffee and he'd say, "What do you need, bum?"
Yeah. Ask one good question. Don't make it a wasteful one.
Yeah. But he taught me a lot about how them flathead run when they run on the river and what to do. So, you know, that's where a lot of these young people, they won't ask for advice. What do you do? Why have you been successful?
Yeah.
But a lot of people won't share knowledge. I don't care because I know that I will die one of these days. I'm going to die and I'm going to go to heaven. That's my goal. And I want to share what I know. So I have a lot of people come and ask me, what do you do in this situation? Or what do you look for? I've took people out and they'll ask me, "Bum, is that a good spot?" Well, maybe. But I had one guy one time and I said, he'd went up to North Missouri and he said, "Where am I going wrong? My buddies are killing deer and I can't." And I said, "You got to learn to flank them." "What are they doing?" He said, "They go in as far as they can I said, go down there. He told me the lay of the land. I said, go down there where them hollers intersect, and you got them 3 points coming off.
Yep.
And sit right there. Well, when they went in that morning, they pushed that buck through there, and he come slipping through, and he killed him. He called me, and he's so excited. He said, I killed that deer, and he said, I could see the hood of the pickup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sometimes to be successful as a hunter, try something different when you're not having luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easy to say that, but I've definitely learned the hard way, because I've sit on the top of the hills and sit on the top of the saddles and not sit 3/4 way up the hill when they're checking the downwind scrapes or whatever it is. And it's like, man, like you get close, you just can't seem to get them in. And it's a process of learning. I mean, and if you don't realize it, you may be in for a long road ahead of you, but anything you can do to kind of minute them mistakes just gets you that much better experience and closer to whatever you're trying to get.
The biggest point of being a successful hunter, you got to have patience.
Yeah, yes you do.
And you got to have drive, and you got to want to be successful.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking to my boss the other day about that, because like I come in and I said, I'm not a very good turkey hunter. He said, you killed yourself right there. He said, you admitted that you're not a good turkey hunter. You're never going to be a good turkey hunter if you keep saying that. And I was like, that is one of my problems. I said, we talked about this on the podcast a lot, about how you are what you say you are.
Yeah.
If you think you're not a good turkey hunter, you're not going to be a good hunter. If you think you suck at life, you're probably going to suck at life.
Right.
And that's where like it gets in my head sometimes, like especially when birds aren't gobbling or something like that. And then you look on Facebook and Joe Smo over there is laying them down, and you're like, what is he?
Yeah.
What's going on? Like, I suck.
It's defeating.
Yeah, I mean, here's the deal. Hunting, fishing can be mental.
Mm-hmm.
I go to hunt and fish to relax my mind and relieve stress. 100%, because there is nothing that God has laid out before us no better than have the life that we live here.
Exactly.
Yep.
Go fishing, go hunting, go to church on Sundays. I mean, he's laid it all out here for us. So that's the reason I go. But pray about that.
Mm-hmm.
He'll give you the patience.
Yeah.
If you're not confident with a rifle, sell it, because you're never going to gain the confidence with it. You got a rifle that shoots good, and you got confidence, I'm going to kill a deer every shot, keep it.
Yep. That's like my turkey gun I got right now. Like, man, I know when I squeeze the trigger on a bird, if it's within 60 yards, it's going to die, you know.
That means a lot.
Yeah. And so, like, I've had people, it's just an old 870 Remington, but, I mean, I know it kills. But, yeah, I mean, you are right about that. You got to have that drive. Like, I know some people that, I mean, when turkey season comes in, and same way with deer hunting, like, some of my buddies that kill the biggest bucks, I mean, when you look at the difference of why am I not killing versus them, it's because their mind is set on success 100% of the time. Like, whereas like me, sometimes, I'm going up to deer camp, I'm having fun with my buddies, I'm enjoying it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And I don't always have to kill the big buck. Like you said, like I thank God every day that I just get to get out and enjoy that, the experience of being outdoors. I'm kind of half hippie on a lot of things. Like I just enjoy watching sunsets, sunrises, birds and squirrels.
Whenever a guy loses the excitement part of it, he just will hang it up.
Yep.
Because I can remember my uncle, he was up in his upper 70s. We went out and he killed a turkey one morning just beside himself.
Yeah.
That's what the drive in me was. And the drive in, it's the success. And it's not only, it's about the experience. Deer season night before the opening morning rifle season, I get so excited. I lay there, I think I'm having a heart attack.
Yeah.
That's the excitement that still keeps me going.
Yeah.
And wants me. There ain't been a deer season since I was just a young boy that I just don't get overwhelmed the night before. I have trouble sleeping.
Yep.
Can't hardly go to sleep.
Yep.
A lot of times at my age, I'll go in there and get me a drink of NyQuil to try to help myself go to sleep.
Yeah.
And then you still fight it.
That's one thing I will
dreaming big old bucks.
I admire about you is like you've held on to that youthful spirit so long, and a lot of people they lose that, especially when you get into like superintendent jobs and stuff like that. You lose that. You lose that kid spirit in you, and like this guy right here is definitely the biggest kid I know. Like, I mean, he can have the most fun. It's just, I mean, I hope I'm like that as I get older.
Right.
Like just hold on to that joyful fun.
Would you do me a favor? Will you turn that light down? Just tilt it down a little bit, or turn it
down?
Yeah, I'm going on no sleep, and that is killing my eyes. Turn it that way a little bit too. I'm gonna get it out of my face. There we go. That's better.
Well, there you go again about wanting to stay young. And a lot of people ask me why I don't retire. You just nailed it. I make a good salary. I'm blessed with good employees. We have fun, but we get a lot of work done. Now you go to mistreating employees, they're mad. They're gonna lay down on you. They're gonna make your life a living nightmare.
Yeah.
That's why I like to have fun at work. It's just like a lot of people say, well, you're a Christian, you can't have fun now. That's the biggest lie and understatement that you've ever had in your life. I've had way more fun since I've become a Christian with my Christian family than I've had in my entire life. And that's been the last 5 years. Because them people dearly love you. They truly love you. Them friends that say they're friends, I'll just tell you an example. My grandpa told me whenever I was a little boy, he said, and I was wild, and I hung around with the wrong crowd, people that smoked, chewed tobacco. They was drinking at an early age. Of course, I was 10, 11, 12 years old. I was a state senator already. It took me to get 35 years old before I ever come off that pedestal and understood what the man said. He said, you surround yourself with good people, you'll be a good person. You keep hanging around them thug dogs you're hanging around with, you're going to have fleas and ticks.
Yep.
And it took me a long time before I understood what he was talking about.
Yep. That's a magical age, I guess, at 35. Because, I mean, that's where I feel like a big change in my life kind of swooped around, But that's right. You are who you surround yourself with.
Well, whenever you get my age, whenever I was younger, I always wondered what I was going to do tomorrow. Whenever you hit 50, you wake up and you wonder how many years of life you've got left. So I just tell you guys and anybody that's listening on here, while you're young, do everything you can. That's another thing that my grandpa and my uncle told me. He said, enjoy your life while you can, because the golden years ain't what they're cracked up to be.
Yeah. That had one of our friends said, he said, the only thing good about the only truth there is about the golden years is your pee's a lot more yellow. This woman, she's from Minnesota. She's a freaking hoot. She's like, she's like, it ain't what it's cracked up to be. The only thing gold is my piss, is what she said. I laughed so hard when she told me that. But yeah, it's just like, everybody that you knew, you start losing them. They're done and gone. I'm already at the age, I'm 32, and people that when I was a kid were always around, like they're dropping off, or they're just getting so old they can't do anything, and it's just like an eye opening. Like, man, one day that's going to be me. It's still, but well, I've got time. But then I look back and the days are long, the weeks are short, the years go by fast, and it's getting faster and faster. And if we don't put in for these hunts and go out and do these experiences, even though they may cost you more than what you can afford time-wise or money-wise, like if you don't try and do it, you're not gonna. And you're gonna wish you had. You don't want to go too far out of your means, but if you're not uncomfortable, you're just not gonna grow.
That's exactly right. I think as soon as you step out of your comfort zone, that's when growth happens.
Yes,
I mean, for me, like I've told you before on here, like when I obeyed God, I mean, I was smoking weed at the time, because that was the only relief I had from, the misery I was in at my job and everything. And God told me, you need to take your family to church. Well, I didn't want to, but I listened and I did it. And dude, the next 5 years, my life has just like totally changed. Like, I mean, I was saved when I was 15, but I didn't always live that,
Right.
But then like when God got a hold of me and I listened to him and did that, it's like one blessing after another just keeps happening. And I can only count, some people might say, well, you're just, that's you, you're doing good and stuff like that, but you can't explain all the blessings that have come my way. Like, I mean, first it was a job, then it was my dream piece of property that I've had come up. And I mean, the situation of how that came up, it was like, there's no other explanation but God, So yeah, I mean, getting out of your comfort zone and, listening to God and surrounding yourself with good people, better people, that is I think where the big change comes from. And it's better to do it when you're, sooner you can do it, the better. If you don't have to wait till you're 35 to make that thing, everybody changes at a different age, I think. You know, I see 21-year-olds that are way more mature than me in their, walk with God or something like that. It's like they've hit that thing, but like I said, everybody takes a different time period and learning. I've had to learn a lot of things the hard way, almost everything.
Yeah.
That's what makes you tougher.
Yeah. That's what one of my favorite sayings when I was younger was, if you're gonna be dumb, you got to be tough.
That's the Jackass, the theme song.
I don't remember.
You're gonna be dumb. You got to be tough.
Yeah, that was us, man. And we grew up right in the generation of when that movie came out.
Yeah, I mean, MTV was hitting hard. I mean, I guess it's always been around, but that was like the 90s and early 2000s. It was.
I remember when we was
Viva La Bam and
14 or 15, getting in shopping carts at Walmart, shoving each other in the bushes, and jumping off two-story buildings and just being, that's probably why my knee problems are like they are.
They don't get no easier with age.
Oh,
no kidding.
My neck's been out again. I've been eating ibuprofen more than I want to. But I slept wrong Saturday and Sunday, and Monday I got up and it's like, oh man, it's got a crick in my neck and it's working way. I got nerve problems anyway, but it's frustrating, and little things like that can just alter your mindset, and put you kind of in a bad mood. But it's healing. It's feeling better than it did Monday and Tuesday, so thankful for that. I'm hoping to try to get on a turkey. Maybe Saturday is about the only time I have to go for just a few hours. I've got, Mikey's bachelor party. We're going on the river Saturday, and then his wedding's next Saturday. I'm like, dude, you timed that pretty bad.
Oh, did you get married?
Yeah. I was telling him, that's why I asked you when we're going to Leroy's deer camp, turkey camp, because I thought it was this weekend. He said, well, let's go over there Friday night. We'll camp. We were wanting to camp this weekend. And then I realized it's next weekend you're doing that. Well, we've got a dinner Friday night and a wedding Saturday, so I may not get to come over. And I hate that because I always go and see Loggy Bayou and Swilly at the
You say you might
camp.
not be able to come that
Probably not then next weekend. I just, on my group message earlier, they said we have a barbecue dinner and like rehearsal at 6 p.m. Friday night. So
yeah,
may not get to see you.
Heck yeah,
but hopefully something will gobble. They had a bunch of rain for this weekend coming in, but it looks like there may be a chance it's kind of pushing away. And Friday's the biggest spot.
Friday and Monday.
That's what I'd seen. So I'm gonna end up working Friday, and then I got Saturday and Sunday off. So we'll see if something can't spark up. But if not, I'll get out in the woods and pick a few ticks off of me and have a good time.
So we've heard rumor that they call you Catfish Bum. Why is that?
Well, probably because I like to catfish.
Makes sense.
I've got a lot of knowledge in the fishing department, but that comes with paying attention once again when I was younger. And I used to play cards over at the lake with a guy, and that's what he'd always, catfish, what's going on? And we actually had a couple good fishing trips together, but he's got a lot to learn. I'd rather catfish than about anything.
Really?
I mean, especially in big flathead. There again, there's kind of an art to that, knowing what to do, when to do it, what the moon phase is, and fish are like anything else. Barometric pressure's rising, they're going to bite. The biggest fish I've ever caught was a 74-pounder, and that was in the...
Hold that up there.
That was in the front before a big storm come.
Wow.
Dandy.
And
that's a big old fish.
That's a 74, and then here's a 65. That's the last picture I got with my uncle before he passed. So...
You said you caught that on a 3-pound test line, Zepco?
caught one on a limb line.
Okay.
And I caught the last one on a jug.
I used to love going jugging. Yep. Man, I ain't fished in a long time, and I always say I'm gonna try to get back into it, but I just get so ate up with deer hunting that's all I think about. But I really want to do it. Man, my kids are that age where they want to go fishing. We live right next to the river.
That's what a lot of people overlook on the fishing. you can catch just as many fish in cold weather as what you can hot.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand that. It's just the different depth. They're not. They don't got as much mobility. They're gonna hole up. Same as crappie. I'd rather crappie fish whenever you don't got to swat mosquitoes and the bull gnats or whatever is over there right now just biting the far out of you.
I'd rather be in the cold. I hate messing with the bugs in the hot weather.
So if you was going to go after like those big flatheads, when's the best time to do it?
Right now.
Right now?
Really?
Springtime?
Right now. I usually started catching them around 15th of April, but I mean, you can say yes and no on that. The 65 I caught June the 13th, and the 74 pound was July 28th. So the biggest one I caught didn't have no eggs in it, but the 65 pounder did. The difference in that lake is the water temperature. Usually by middle to late till end of June, they're done. Mm-hmm. If I was going to fish on the river before, it'd be after middle to late July on the dark of the moon, because last of July is when they'll spawn on the rivers. It's the difference in the water temperature. That's where a lot of people make the mistakes. But the channel cats, man, they'll just bite anytime.
Yeah.
But the flatheads, they're just an elusive fish, or they wouldn't get that size.
Yeah,
exactly. That's
how
a
old
big fish.
So like a fish 74, 65 pounds, how old do you think they'd be to?
I'm gonna say they're 30 plus years.
Wow.
If I was gonna guess.
I mean, almost as old as me. Well, how old are you?
32.
30. Yeah, so about your age.
Yeah.
Golly. Yeah. And now flatheads only bite on live bait, right?
I've caught the smaller ones on cut bait, but never a big one.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
The bigger the bait, the bigger the fish.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've heard that too.
Yeah.
I used to fish with my brother-in-law quite a bit, and we'd go fishing, and we'd catch some big bluegill. I'm talking like 3/4 of a pound.
No kidding.
And he'd put them in.
I love bluegill.
He'd put them in the live well, and we'd get ready to set the limb lines that night, and I'd grab the biggest one out, especially if I had it set in the right place. He'd say, "Quit doing that. Them's good fried up." And I said, "So's a 30-pound flathead."
Yeah, no kidding. We could feed a lot more people on that.
I never knew there was a taste difference in like flathead and channel till my brother-in-law's dad. He loves flathead, but he doesn't like channel cat. And so like one time I was over there and they were frying fish up, and I was tasting it. I was like, "Man, that's good fish." And they're like, "Yeah, that's flathead." And I was like, "Really?" I was like, "That does have a different taste than channel cat."
Yeah, they do taste different.
Catfish, or the flatheads, they've got grain just like cutting a deer up. Mm-hmm. You got to know how to cut them up, and they're more flaky of a meat. Mm-hmm. To me, they're the best eating fish there is.
Yeah.
A lot of people say,
I like catfish.
A lot of people say crappie. Crappie's right there.
It's good.
But do you want to go catch 15 crappie that's 9 inches and above, or you can catch a 30-pound flathead and feed 15 to 20 people?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, on flathead too, you got belly meat and everything, don't you?
That 74-pounder had a 5-gallon bucket of fillets when I got done with it.
Wow.
And that was after I stripped the red meat out of him.
Yeah.
He was pretty
And
impressed.
then they have head meat too, don't
got
they?
jaw meat.
Jaw
right
meat.
Below their eye. They was probably, the fillets on his jaw was bigger than my hand and probably 1.5 inches thick.
So I didn't realize that.
Yeah. A lot of people don't realize a big walleye's got a little nugget right behind their eye there too.
No, I didn't either.
They do.
I'll be dang.
I mean, I catch a lot of catfish because we go out west and spend time with my wife's brother and sister. They live out in Wyoming.
I'd like to go out there sometime.
They beautiful country out there. But we went to the lake and went fishing, and he told me, he said, "Now, these laws out here is different in Missouri. It's 5 walleye, not 10. He said, "You catch 5 quick," because they sit up on the cliffs and watch with binoculars, and they do.
Yeah.
And you can actually fillet a fish out. You can gut him, but you got to take him out whole, so they will stop you on a road.
Really?
Yes, sir.
They don't play no games out there.
They don't play no games out there. So we went and we caught some walleye, and I took them like I don't know how many gallon bags of catfish. So when I got ready to come home, he said, well, I'll send you some elk and some antelope and some walleye. He said, I was like, Bob, are you going to trade walleye for catfish? And he said, oh, yeah. He said, I'd rather have that catfish any days than walleye. So
Really?
he sent me back elk and walleye.
Oh, but dang.
So
that ain't a bad trade.
Oh, I was like,
I like some elk.
Yep. So good people. There's some good. Wyoming is beautiful country, and I actually got to spend some time up in the mountains last year while we was out there, and it's different out there. The game out there don't run from you.
Really?
Oh, I got pictures of. I bet there's probably 75 elk in that one herd.
Man,
and we stopped in the road, and they was on the side of the hill, and I think there was 6 dandy bulls in that bunch, and we sit and watched them for 2 or 3 minutes, and I was snapping some pictures of it. Bob said, let's go. There's plenty of elk out here. The fish are biting. So I didn't get to look like I wanted to, but
yeah,
the elk out there, you've got to catch them in the first thing in the morning or late in the evening, from what I've seen out there.
Going in and out of the shade and stuff.
And, you know, we went out there, and we got there the week before the 4th of July last year, and the first morning we was out there, it's 34 degrees. And I come walking across there in a pair of Crocs and a pair of shorts and a muscle shirt, and my sister-in-law said, are you not cold? And I said, I come from Missouri, it's 100 degrees there, and I sit there and drunk coffee on the front porch till the sun come out. Yeah. They said, you sure you don't want a jacket? And I said, not. I said, I'm going to take some of this back to Missouri, and there I go.
Yeah, when you come back and it's humid as could be, and you can't stand to go outside without sweating.
Lot of difference out there. Whenever we went up on the mountain, it was 87 degrees in the bottom. Whenever we got up top, it was 46.
Wow.
Golly.
And they rode the windows up and turned the heat on, and I cracked my window, and I said, we're all cold. Well, I guess they lived there for 30 years, 40.
Yeah.
I guess they get cold just like we do whenever it's cold here.
Yeah, no matter where you're at, if you're in Florida, they're cold, and our colds are cold. My wife's from Wisconsin.
It's just cold.
It's cold. But she's like, man, it's colder down here. But they may always say that. No matter where you're at, what's colder here than it is there? It's a dry cold. It's a wet cold.
But you know, as the first time in my life, I actually got to throw a snowball in July.
Yeah.
Up on the mountain.
I've still got an honor streak in it. The women, they got mad at me because I hit them with a snowball. I snowballed them all the way back to the truck.
I'd do the same thing.
But if you ever get a chance to go out west and see them mountains,
I want to.
That's one of my dream trips.
It's worth the trip. And we actually seen some wild rams while we was up there. The big horn ones, and then the small ones. It's just like a spike.
They're pretty.
Deer.
Yeah, they're pretty. They used to not be on my bucket list to shoot, but after going to Texas and I've killed a couple of rams down there, it's like, man, I'd like to try to kill them in their own element.
If you've never been up in the mountains in the summer,
never have.
Unbelievable how green it is. You can take the greenest field here that you've ever seen, and wildflowers here compared to out there, it's a different game up there.
Really?
I can see why them elk and the animals, the mule deer, get such big horns because the native grass is
right.
It's really pretty.
I'm hoping within the next 2 years to try to get out there and experience something.
I hope we get to go in the next couple of months.
That'd be cool.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So what, you talk about, you was wild when you was younger, and then last 5 years or whatever, you changed your life. Tell us a little bit about what went through on all that whole process.
Well, whenever you're younger, you're always thinking about the next day and the next adventure. Yes, was I wild? Did I binge drink on the weekends? I was just very ornery. But you got to realize how I was raised. My uncle was ornery. I mean, walk through the brush and smack you with a limb. What are you walking behind me for? You get up in front of him, you're going too fast, make too much noise, get behind me, and then he'd smack you in the head with another brush. Just the way he was. So, yeah, did I do some things? Yeah, I done a few drugs, and whenever I was younger, and even after me and my wife got married on Fridays and Saturday nights, we'd drink and play a few hands cards out on the sunroom, and it just come to a point one morning, New Year's Eve, she got up, and I was bad when I got to drinking, because if there was still somebody to drink with me, I'd drink until I run out of alcohol or I'd pass out. And that's not a good feeling. No. So the last night we drunk together is actually New Year's Eve of it actually turned into 2015. So I guess she quit at 2014 because she bowed out about 10 o'clock. Well, I didn't quit until I had that fifth of Captain Morgan's done. Phew. So I quit sometime in the night, and I woke up in the recliner next morning, just felt like somebody'd run over me with a Mack truck. Mm-hmm. And we just talked about it, and we just quit. By that time, that year there, I made supervisor, and then 2017 I got superintendent. So a little bit about here rose around 2018. I've had a good life, not had a lot of trouble in life. Did I lose you always lose a few loved ones in life along the way. You're going to lose your mom, you're going to lose your dad, you're going to lose your grandma and grandpa, probably a few friends along the way. But 2018 rolls around. September, I was going to a fall meeting in Columbia, and my wife calls me because she had a lump on her breast. And she calls me because I wasn't going to go, but she said, go ahead, it'll be fine. It's a small spot. Well, she calls me a bawling and a crying, just upset, and she said, it's cancer. Mm. The biopsy, it's stage 2. They're going to have to take one of my breasts. In the meantime, my daughter had went plumb off her rocker. Kids got took away. Mm. And she got some false charges filed against her. Well, we was in between with kids. My wife went in. They done surgery, thought they got the lump out, and just done a partial. Well, whenever they sent the test off and come back, it went from a stage 2 to a stage 4 in 2 weeks. Wow. So there you are, lost. You heard the lost sheep. Here James is I'm just about to explode. I can't sleep at night. Just having a hard way to go. Well, she gets them both took off in October. And 2 weeks later, my brother passed away at 50 years old. Now, you're talking about a plate full to deal with. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But the following year, my wife gets better, does chemo treatments, 6 treatments. They about kill her. They give her a double treatment, and they're just supposed to give her one right off the bat. And times was just bad, and I need to change in my life. Well, I didn't, and she always told me all along, she said, I prayed to the Lord, and I'm going to pull through this. And she would always say, I wish you'd get saved and get right with the Lord. So, along rose June of it may have been 2018, maybe I think it was 2019. That's ringing a bell for a reason. I've got it marked in my Bible. So, I go to dump some catfish carcasses, and I've been dumping catfish carcasses here quite often. Well, I go dump these catfish carcasses. Here comes these 2 pit bulls up through the woods. I guess they'd been eating these carcasses. So I didn't pay no mind. Well, this one just comes and jumps on me and gets me down on the ground. Oh, shoot. Yeah, I've got scars all over my arms, cut both my arms, in my chest. And I finally got leverage on him, and I got back up, and I got him by the collar and got him in the side headlock. I didn't have my 9mm, no knife, no nothing, and a pair of shorts and Crocs. And whenever I fell on him, it knocked the breath out of him. That's the only reason that I made it out of there. And at that point, I thought I was going to die right there. Honestly did. You ever hear the feeling you see your life flash before your eyes? Yeah. It was right there. And it scared me so bad that I went to the house, and all I could think about, I took my shirt off and wrapped it around my arm. I was bleeding so bad, and I went to the house, and I run into the house, grabbed my 300 mag, and she said, what's a man? I guess I had blood all over me and was bleeding out this other arm. I said, I'm going to kill that. I said what was on my mind, in shock. Oh, yeah. No, you're going to the emergency room. So she about killed me going to Poplar Bluff. Horrible. She's scared.
Yeah, naturally.
So we was sitting there, and they had to sew me several layers up because muscles and everything. I think 87 stitches later, I got out of there. And I told her while I was laying there, I said, I've got to get right with the Lord. That's when my life changed right there. And we went next Sunday. You don't have to go to church to ask for forgiveness. You can do it driving down the road. Mm-hmm. God, please forgive me for all my sins. He's going to forgive you because his son died on the cross for you. So I got right with the Lord then. Countless blessings on me. Through ever since, I've had nothing but good. But I honestly believe that the Lord puts you in these predicaments to test you and to change you. Mm-hmm. Because now at church, I'm the adult Sunday school teacher. I get a chance to pray and dismiss church. I'm a trustee. That's all God's doing. Mm-hmm. He's developing you. Mm-hmm. And he can develop you through other people. Mm-hmm. So I talk about being a bad person and doing the things I shouldn't have been doing. All you've got to do is ask for forgiveness and stay in prayer and stay faithful, and he'll lead you in the direction in life you need. No. So that's what changed me.
That's awesome.
It's strong.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Whenever you see your life flash before your eyes, if you're not going to get right, you're never going to get right. Mm-hmm. And it scared me that bad.
Yeah. That's scary. Really, very scary.
That's awesome. Yeah. It definitely is a change of life, though, when it does.
You know, when they always talk, I don't miss a Sunday. Mm-hmm. Deer season, turkey season. The only time that I miss a Sunday or a Thursday is if I'm sick or we're on a scheduled vacation. Mm-hmm. Or with Modot, you got a snowstorm or a tornado.
Yeah.
I mean, on them emergency situations, a lot of people don't understand as a Modot employee how much you sacrifice in life.
Oh, yeah.
Away from your family, them winter nights, flooded roads. Last year, I had a tornado come through that hit every one of my buildings. My whole area, six buildings, all had tornado damage, just like a bomb went off. You know what? I prayed to the Lord about it. We didn't have no injuries. The guys flew in a week's time. I think one road, they got over 1,000 dump truck loads off. 1,000. That's a bunch of hard-working faithful that sacrificed away from their family for the taxpayers.
Yep. Yeah, people may not realize that because over there, like by my work, Sea Highway by, like Des Arc area got hit hard a couple times. Man, what a mess. And it's Modot just nonstop. Up and down the road, pulling. I'm like, sometimes they catch a bad rep. It's easy to point fingers and not be happy with everything. But, they need to think about what y'all do.
Oh, yeah.
Without you, we'd be in a world of a mess.
Try to be 55 years old and pull a 37-hour straight shift.
Yeah.
That's how much my phone, I'd be on the phone and I'd be getting 4 and 5 calls trying to call me.
Yeah.
During this time. We'd worked a 10-hour shift that day, and at 6:30, we got home at 4:30.
Yeah.
I had long enough to eat dinner, take a shower, and I stretched out, and I was watching all this stuff build on the news. At 6:30, the phone went to ringing, and it didn't quit until, 6:30, 7 o'clock the next night.
Yeah.
But we got all the roads open.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a crazy, man. I remember because I went up there to Des Arc that day, dude.
I never went and looked at it. I didn't want to get in the way.
Oh my goodness! Yeah. But the cool thing about it was the only beautiful thing that comes out of a disaster like that is seeing the community come together.
Yes, 100%. It's unfortunate that it takes catastrophic things for us to unite.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. I think kind of like you said with the dogs attacking us, maybe God's moment of hey, here's your sign. Just like with Charlie Kirk, for instance, he passed away. Terrible, terrible, terrible thing. It brought people out of the woodworks to have a voice. And I've seen so many people change their lives within the last couple of years with the elections going on, with now the war, the Charlie Kirk deal. Just you get fed up and realize that, hey, time's short. You don't have an unlimited amount of time. You better make it right. Well, it's been almost a blessing in a way.
you talk about that. I'll just tell you, a lot of people say there's not good people out there still left, but there is.
There is.
Whenever we was up
Times
there,
have changed, but there is good people.
Whenever we was up there working, the little old town of Des Arc, there's a church there. I don't know how many meals they brought out to my guys working.
Yeah.
Bottles of water, Gatorade. I mean, that's a very strong community up there.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
here, yins need to eat. Yins need to eat. I mean,
Yeah. One of my bosses was out there. I think it might have been his church, but Ryan Gaiman, a lot of them took off work and went and helped, and and it was needed. The place was just absolutely demolished, and it's not a high income area. It ain't like people can really afford to do much with the situation. And
but you drive down through there, and there's a saying in the Bible that it rains on the just and the unjust the same.
Yep.
You drive down through there and you look at a mansion or a nice, very nice house, gone. Right beside of it, there's an old shack.
Yeah.
That's got tires through up to hold a tarp down so it don't leak.
Yeah.
Still standing.
Yeah. That doesn't make sense to look at, but we're not supposed to be able to make sense of
But
it.
it just wasn't their time to lose their place.
Yeah, I agree.
So
Yeah.
I remember, like my house was taken out by that tornado back in 2011, the one that came through Pinecone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I remember
where you lived at?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, nobody was home luckily, but when we got there, I remember like the whole house was like demolished. The roof was gone, walls were caved in. But that morning I had ate a breakfast on a TV tray, and I had like a glass bottle. I think it was a Sobe or something like that, and it was sitting there. Everything was destroyed, but that TV tray and that glass bottle was still standing up. I'm like, how does the tornado? Like I don't understand that sometimes.
Yeah,
it's
I don't either. Like guys in Poplar Bluff last year that had their roof taken off. They literally had pieces of paper still on the table, but the roof and everything is just gone. Like how I don't know. It's crazy what that abruption can do, and then also leave. It just makes you scratch your head, And for us, be thankful that we didn't have an issue, but I mean, there's a lot of people that did, and it's this time of the year again. This is tornado season, turkey season. It always brings some devastation with the floods and storms, and this is a hard time of the year. Sometime to be a good time of the year.
My area's been hit 2 years in a row. I hope God spares us this year.
Yeah, that's something to be thankful. That's something to be thankful for this year. Is we haven't, because like been pretty calm actually. Like we haven't even got a whole lot of rain.
No, we haven't. No, we actually need some rain, but there's still the rest of April and part of May that could do something. But hopefully we have a little bit of a break this year.
Yeah.
And not only for people, but for the turkey population.
No kidding, yeah.
Well, one good thing I noticed this spring, the blackberries are in full bloom. The oak trees has done bloomed and dropped their tassels.
Good.
It's late enough in the year now. I say we're still going to have a blackberry winter, but hopefully the deer and the wildlife and the turkeys and everything could use a banner year on acorn crop.
Yes, they need one.
Yep.
Hopefully it works out. Yeah, I'm sure this winter was kind of hard on a lot of things. Just not much food, and it wasn't really a hard winter as far as like temperature wise. We had some cold spells and we had some snow, but it wasn't bad, but just it wasn't a whole lot for them to surplus on for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to go back and talk a little bit about deer hunting. I want to talk a little bit about deer hunting.
I can always do that.
Me and my uncle, we'd always hunt squirrels in the fall. You wouldn't believe how much just still hunting them squirrels you can actually see. I've gained a lot of knowledge how they're traveling, find a lot of trails, a lot of good places to hunt whenever you're squirrel hunting. Squirrel's actually a very tasty animal.
Mm-hmm. I love squirrel. I don't hardly hunt them anymore because the best time for me is the fall whenever I'm diehard deer hunting.
I've eaten many of them.
Yeah.
We eat a lot of them whenever we was little. Squirrels in the fall, rabbit and deer in the winter, turkey breast, and Grandpa would always have a butcher hog or two in the spring.
Yeah.
And back in, probably a lot of people hasn't heard of this, but render and lard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they'd do it in a big old cast iron, and then they'd take the cracklings and save them and put in the cornbread, but everything was cooked in lard. And a lot of this you talk about nowadays, the preservatives that's put in stuff, that was all natural. You didn't see now theoretically the people that's hereditary through genetics that's got heart disease, they're going to have them. But you take the general population that don't, a lot of these preservatives and stuff that they put in this oil and stuff nowadays can have a lot of health effects. You take rendering lard back in, we cooked everything in bacon grease. And my great-grandpa lived to be 96, and he took every meal that was cooked in bacon grease.
Yeah.
And he smoked some, chewed a little bit of tobacco, and actually what killed him was he fell and he broke his hip and he got pneumonia in the hospital.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty common, and it seems like older folks get hurt. Pneumonia sets in. That's a bad combination. Yeah. But no, the preservatives, I think food and whatever else is in the atmosphere, I think we're just poisoned to the brim every single day.
Well, you take the
plastics.
You take
everything in plastics there to kill you, other than like a couple little things you're missing out on.
They put something in that, just like in tobacco, the nicotine in it. That's what hooks you. The caffeine in the sodas. They do the same thing with the food and put added ingredients in it.
So your GMOs and stuff.
So your body relies on it. You want to buy more of it.
You crave it. Food's one of the worst drugs out there.
Yeah, and that's what I've heard is like, food products and stuff like that. They actually hire engineers, and their one job is to make that food as addicting as possible to the consumer. That way they want to come back and buy it, Because when I started losing weight and I started cutting a lot of that out of my diet, like I told you before, like I went through like a flu-like symptoms.
Yeah.
Like it was like withdrawals. Like I felt like cold. I was sweating, had kind of like a fever kind of thing. And then like it just lasted one day, and then next day I was fine, But I think like it was from cutting carbs and all that processed stuff, because my body was just used to it for 31 years of just constantly
doing to me?
Yeah, putting it in there. So when you finally stop it, it's like, whoa, what do you, I need some of that.
Yeah,
again.
it's like, we're wanting to do a garden this year, and it's like, how do I have time to add more and add more? And it's like, well, I can go buy it cheaper, but man, all the stuff that's in it, and being a not really a health nut, but I'm pretty conscious about it. Like I should be doing that, living off the land, and eating what I kill. I got a freezer full of meat, and that's mainly what we eat. But all the other stuff is just, it's so easy, convenient to get the processed foods, and it's just at our disposable. But it's literally causing us to be disposable faster.
It's a lost in times. It's the era that we're living in now. Back, I don't know how many acre of a garden my grandpa had in there when we was kids. We come home from school or during the summer, we always helped him out. I never got so sick of stemming green beans, stringing them. You forgot a string. Make sure you string him. Yeah. Potatoes. We raised enough potatoes. We didn't have a cellar, but we would put them underneath the house. And it was my job to crawl underneath the house and get the potatoes, because I was a little guy back in the day.
Yeah.
And tomatoes. We canned tomatoes for chili and soup. Everything come out of the garden. Yeah. And you had one room in the house is nothing but canned good. I've spent days peeling apples so we could have apple pies in the winter, fried apples.
Fried apple. I like fried apples.
And had a peach tree, had a pear tree, had a plum tree. And you made all your preserves. You picked blackberries for blackberry cobblers, and you'd make some blackberry jelly. And it's just a lost art.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, as far as like food goes too, like I like to, God said God made everything animal and plant, put it on this earth, and he called it good. Well, that's kind of how I try to dictate kind of what I eat or not anymore, is like if it's a one ingredient kind of thing, if it's grown on a tree, grown from the ground, or it's an animal, like, I mean, I eat it.
Now you want to hear a life lesson and story. Let's have a little comedy.
Let's do it.
Back when I was younger, I was probably, 24 or 5 years old. My uncle, he always raised bees. Well, the first cold snap you had in the fall, which back in September, it wasn't uncommon back then to have a frost in September, late September.
Yeah.
he called me the night before and he said, get down here in the morning and help me rob these bees. Of course, I hated bees. I had bad experiences with bees over my life, from throwing rocks at hornet's nest, you name it, I done it. Messed with yellow jackets, I got stung. So I got down there and I got him all suited up, and he said, I forgot my mask. I got to run to the other house and get him. So up there he had 5 hives up there, and then he had his blue ticks tied up there because the old man loved to coon hunt. Die-hard coon hunter. So I thought, well, I'll just teach him a lesson. Of course, on the front of them boxes where they get in and out, he had a screen over them so they couldn't get out.
Yeah.
But they could still get up through the super up there where they stored their honey. So while he was gone, I took a round piece of wood, and I'm telling you, bang, bang, bang on every one of them beehives. You could hear him in there. He got back, and he put his mask on, and he lit his smoker up, and he was trickling smoke out. And just as soon as he stuck a screwdriver underneath that first super, he popped it open. I was standing about 50 yards back towards his pickup truck, and he was in a white Tyvek suit, a bee suit. He turned black. I mean, they jumped on him. They went to stinging his coonhound, and he's hollering at me, get that dog and turn him loose. They're going to sting him to death. So I run up there to get the dog, and they jump on me, and they sting me 26 times before I get to the truck. And I jump in the truck, both my eyes swelled shut, stung in the head, and he's beating on the window. Let me in. They've got underneath my suit. And I stayed locked in the truck, and he finally walked off, and we finally got all them bees robbed. Well, he did. And I got some Benadryl and finally got to where I could see, and we got down to his other house and had 5-gallon buckets of honey, lots of it. He said, I don't know what got in them bees. He said, they've always been gentle, but till the day he died, I never did tell him about that because I know he'd whip me.
Yeah. Probably the last time you started messing with them bees,
I didn't
too.
mess with no more bees after that.
Oh, man,
That's
that scares me to death. I remember some movie in the 90s, Killer Bees, whatever. I just deathly afraid of bees. Anything that stings, man, don't get me around it. And I'm not really allergic to them or anything. I'll swell up and not like it, but I don't play with them things.
Yeah.
So
but I like honey.
You want to talk about honor? Our uniform guy comes in there to do uniforms and stuff like that. One day he was in there. That old guy, he gets in his truck to leave. Well, Bum's we're in the shop, and he just, hey, or no, did you say hey or whoa?
Whoa.
Yeah, he said whoa. And that guy locked the brakes on like he was about to hit something. And he comes out, he's like, did one of you guys say something? And he done left. And one of our guys was sitting there, and he's like, no, nobody said anything. But, oh, yeah, that's that fun,
Yeah.
Heck,
That's the fun you have in life. That makes it interesting.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I used to work with this guy, and it didn't matter what you'd done in life. Don was his name. If you had a coon dog and you'd caught 4 coon one night, well, he caught 6.
Yeah.
If you caught a 10-pound channel cat, he'd caught a 12. Mm-hmm. If you had an inch of rain at your house, he had 2.5.
Yeah, I know some guys like that.
He's just the smartest man in the room on the conversation. And one day we sitting there drinking coffee at break, and he always smoked. He smoked heavily. He's dead and gone now. Good old man. He meant well. I said, Don, I've got a squirrel dog out there at the house. Its name's Patch. Yeah, I've seen you drive it around town. And I said, that's the smartest dog you've ever seen. I said, if I come out of the house with a 22, it'd tree squirrels. Come out of the house with a shotgun, it'd run rabbits. I said, if I come out of the house with a 30-06, it'd run deer. He said, that's amazing. I said, one day I come out of the house, and I went to the shed and got my fishing poles out, and I said I couldn't find my dog. I threw the poles in the back of my toil to pick up, and I said I walked around the house. I said, do you know what that dog was doing? And hook, line, and sinker. He looked at me and said, what was she doing? I said, she's digging night crawlers. Beat him so bad he didn't talk to me for 2 weeks.
Dude. Speaking of night crawlers, have you ever heard of calling worms or grunting worms?
No.
So, it's like where you take a stick, you stick it or you cut notches all down your stick or whatever, and then you stick that stick in there, and you take another stick and you rake it up and down it.
Vibrations.
And it gives that vibration, I think it simulates rain.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, all these earthworms start popping up to the surface.
Yeah, I have heard that, or people will do it like electric,
Yeah.
put electric in the ground, but yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, I thought you were going to have some of those stories.
No.
Like, here they come. We're in the rut, boys.
I always wanted to try that. I've never done it before, but.
Well, the best way to get night crawlers is wait till it rains a bunch and go to the parking lots in Poplar Bluff. You can pick all you want.
No
Man,
kidding.
they're crawling
I was down there one night, the old Kmart building, and I was walking around with a dustpan and a broom, sweeping them up, and I had some sand in the truck to dry them off with, and then I had some dirt, because catfish just love them big night crawlers when the lake gets up.
Yeah.
Cops pull up and says, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm picking night crawlers up." He said, "We thought you was a meth head."
Sweeping up parking lot.
Don't you know they had a store in there? They went home and talked to their wife.
Yeah.
We seen a guy out there with a broom and a dustpan picking night crawlers up.
No kidding.
Poplar Bluff's finest.
Some of the biggest night crawlers I've seen, though, have been in parking lots like that.
Yeah.
I mean, look like little miniature snakes.
Wonder why. I mean, there's a reason, but I don't.
I
Why you always see them on the concrete and?
I think the ground gets so saturated they try to get up and get some of that warmth.
Yeah,
out of
maybe.
that pavement.
Yeah. Holding the heat in the pavement.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I mean, yeah, you just see them go crazy on concrete or whatnot.
Okay.
I've got to get back into fishing some, man. I say
I
that
know.
all the time. I got to go do it. Art, every time I go to Academy, Archer's like, "Dad, I want fishing pole." You got fishing poles over at Gigi and Pawpaw's. We don't have any here at the house anymore.
Yeah.
I need to get some, go out and get them out catching some perch or some bluegill.
Yeah, when I was a kid, man, that's all I used to do was
I done
fish.
a lot of it. Yeah, I done a lot of
and
it.
it's like, which I mean, like now my daughter plays travel softball, summer ball, soccer. So it's like every night of the week I'm doing something.
Mm-hmm.
But I do need to I'd like to run some lines again. I always had fun doing that, running trot lines. And
I've only done it a few times, but I've enjoyed it. And it's kind of like the Predator deal with the thermal.
mm-hmm.
I bought into it. I want to do it. I really enjoyed it. I enjoy fishing. I enjoy squirrel hunting. Do all those things. It's taking the time to do it.
Yeah.
Speaking of predators, have you ever been out and been messing with a big gobbler and call a bobcat in?
No, I've had coyotes come in. Yeah. I've killed a couple of coyotes doing that. But I've always heard about. I look over my shoulder quite a bit, with old timers talking about calling.
We was hunting up towards Acres Ferry one morning, me and my uncle, and he's sitting behind me a calling. We was working a turkey. All of a sudden, the turkey just flew up and flew off. And I hear him, bum. He said, "To your left, kill him." There's one of the biggest bobcats, and he was sneaking up there. He thought there was another hen there because he'd been a calling.
Yeah.
They will come in.
Yeah, no, I guarantee it. You hear it a couple times a year. Somebody's got a story about bobcats coming up.
I mean, here's what I'd say: the turkeys get hit more by predators than anything because they're like me and you. You see very few people don't like wild turkey breast.
Oh no,
man,
kidding.
They're good. Yeah. I love it's one of my favorite things to eat.
I know when it comes to like predators too, they like beaver meat. Like when you go trapping and stuff, something about that castor, and then you mix that with beaver meat.
Got
like
aroma.
Yeah, coyotes and bobcats love it.
Really?
I don't know are they doing WWE upstairs?
They
again?
might be. Can't tell if that was a whimper or it was a one-time deal. Maybe they're good. Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like beaver myself too.
Yeah.
We've mentioned that a few times on the podcast.
One of the guys up at deer camp this year shot one while he was deer hunting. We skinned it out, and I cut the back straps out of it. And we fried it up, and
I'd like to try it.
It was good. I
I
mean, it's
would
good
like to
red
try it.
meat.
Yeah.
So
I'd like to try a lot of things that I hadn't always kind of
I
turned
always
my nose
wanted
to
to try a bobcat. I've heard that like mountain lion meat's really good, so I don't know why a bobcat. Heck, I mean, they say that's what's in Chinese food.
Yeah, who knows what it is? Kung Pao chicken cat.
I'd say anything though that you season up right,
Man,
and you cook,
yeah.
it'd be.
Everything's probably got some edible to it, and some of it's probably pretty dang good too.
Mm-hmm. I bet you humans probably about the best there is.
Yeah. Somewhere,
Wanna go
somehow.
camping?
Yeah, want to go camping? No, not you.
No. But
So what we got? We got rest of turkey season. What do you guys got anything planned for the summer? You said you're going to Wyoming.
Going to Wyoming and someday soon, hopefully, start fishing.
Yeah.
But like I'm saying, the older I get, I just soon fish in the winter.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's heat sucks sometimes. Get out there and just bake and sweat and everything on the boat's hot.
That's why I like nighttime fish. There's
Yeah.
not near as many people out there.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
You just have to fight the mosquitoes and the cottonmouths on the lake.
Yeah, man. I don't like snakes either.
Man, I used to bowfish all the time.
I want to get back into that too.
That was heck, for the longest time, that was what we used to do all the time.
Yeah, it's fun. I haven't done it in probably since I graduated, 2012, 2013.
Seems to me like the last couple times I've went out there at the lake, and it may just be me, but like there's just not as many fish as there was when I was younger. Like, man, it seemed like you could fit bowfish from dark till daylight and just never run out of seeing buffalo. Every cove you went in, I mean, there was buffalo going everywhere. And here, last couple times I've went, it's just like you go in cove after cove after cove, and you're not even seeing them.
Go in the daylight when it gets dog days, because they go to piping.
Yeah, that's fun.
Really?
Get on your trolling motor and just ease up. Oh, yeah.
That's fun. Yeah, you see a big wad of them, you just float up to them, and then you have like 4 people shooting to a wad of them.
That'd be fun.
You just see your arrows.
Let's try to do that. Let's try to get on a bowfish. If I don't sell Alexa's bow, I may just turn that 40-pound bow into a bow fishing rig.
Last year, me and a friend, we went out there and caught some pipe, and we was going to jug at night, and we had our big catfishing poles, because a lot of times we'll anchor and rod and reel fish.
Yeah.
Where them flats drop off into the river channel. And we got into some in buffalo, and we just tied treble hooks on.
Yeah.
It's pitiful how many we grabbed.
Really? Just snagged them? Yeah.
Go cool. Right above them and get in there and both set the hook. Many a times we had one on a piece, and I'm telling you, talking about a fight.
Yeah.
Hook one of them that weighs about 20 pounds in the tail.
Yeah. I've only caught a couple of them on a rod and reel, and you swear you had a shark coming up out of the water.
Yeah.
They fight. Man, I gotta get back. I keep saying that.
Buffalo
just gotta do it.
Is good fish, but I've never found a point to where the effort of cleaning it is worth the taste of the meat.
I've had one. We I don't even know if you can or can't, so I won't say who. But we were gigging and got a buffalo years ago. Whether or not, I don't know if you can or can't do that. You can, but they showed me how to stake them out and everything, and it was good. Yeah, really good. But I'm like, man, that's a lot of work for a couple fillets.
Like a flathead right there. Like, that's good. I'd rather have just.
I like catfish. I do like catfish.
But no, I used to work with a guy, and he was ate up with buffalo. He's like, I'll take as many as you can get me. Yeah. So heck, I used to drop off a 55-gallon barrel drum full of buffalo every night at his house when we go up there.
Put buffalo sauce on?
I don't know what he did. He was a colored guy. Yeah. So he invited me over one time, but I never. I think I showed up for a little bit, but
I've heard I don't know,
that was like a big deal.
Nothing to colored people, but like the carp and stuff.
Yeah.
I think, I guess maybe just heritage of them just being really poor and kind of less fortunate. They had to learn to eat what they could, I'm guessing, and they just you always talk about like an old like black grandmas are just excellent cook.
Yep.
They can make anything good.
Yep.
And they just probably had some kind of art to it. And,
I remember
they didn't care to work for it.
One funny story, because the guy lived kind of downtown here in Poplar Bluff, and it was like, midnight. We were going down there, pulled the boat. Well, anyways, this one black guy come walking down the street, and he's like, first of all, he kind of starts being kind of sideways with us, and he's like, what are you doing on this side of town? And I just pointed to that 55-gallon drum. I was like, look in there. And he looks in there, and all of a sudden, dude, his whole demeanor changed. He's like, oh my gosh, how'd you guys catch all those? I was like, we snagged them all. but yeah.
Use his dog to catch night crawlers.
No. Yeah, they sure did like them though. Yeah. And that's what I said. Instead of ever wasting it, I'd rather see somebody that enjoys it be able to take it and.
Yeah, I always felt bad for shooting gar or carp and just throwing them out. Man, kind of just eat what you're killing. But I just always been told they were terrible and not worth it and just nasty. Just garbage of the water. And
I gigged
they might be
5.5-foot gar one time. When I cut his back straps out. Yeah. Dude, they was every bit as big as a deer.
They're real bony. No?
It's like
No
good
bones.
white meat.
No kidding.
And we'd cut it up and fried it. And dude, that was probably my favorite meat I've ever ate.
No
Now,
kidding.
I've heard that you don't want to let it get cold, but
Yeah.
fresh out of the fryer, dude, that was really good.
Yeah, I'd like to try it too.
It reminded you of like a mixture between like fish and gator.
I always thought they were an alligator. When I'd see them in the water, I'd come out yelling alligator when I was a kid. They scared me to death.
I love gigging them big gar, man.
They're
Like
fun.
you watch it, like a lot of times when I'd see a big gar or something in Black River, you'd be sitting there looking and you'd see a log, and you'd think this sucker was a log. And
What's that camera saying? Overheating or something?
only 10% battery remaining.
Oh, it's not plugged in.
Oh.
That's all right. We'll shut her down here in a second anyway. But
Yeah, but you see this sucker, it looks like a log, and then all of a sudden you just see that tail just kind of doing that number. You're like, oh, there he is.
yeah, they're neat looking.
No, yeah, that I when I cooked that gar, we was at a wild game dinner. There's this old man that he's a diehard crappie fisherman, and he's like, crappie's the best fish there ever is. I was like, here,
Plug it up.
here, try some of this gar. He's like, I ain't eating no gar, and I was like, just try a piece. He tried a piece, and he's like, God dang, that is good. And I was like, yeah,
Don't knock it till you try it.
exactly, yeah. What'd you say?
It's plugged in. Try some.
No, that
I think it'll save. I don't want to lose it.
old Nick's been wearing some catfish out here lately, running some lines.
Yep.
I'd like to do that again sometime. I'd like to take my daughter because she's getting about that age where, she'd enjoy it. I think.
It's a good time of year to take a kid. You ever get a chance, the guy needs to introduce somebody to the outdoors.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yep.
I agree. That's like what we're doing here, man. Whoever is listening, it ain't a lot of people yet. Hopefully one day it is, but I just hope they can grasp why we're doing this and go out and give it a try, or at least give some understanding and maybe not be against us. You're never going to persuade people, but if they can at least understand kind of where we're coming from and maybe learn to enjoy it too, and them introduce it to something like you're talking about with like city folks. Sometimes they just never got the opportunity to come down and see what country guys are doing.
If you'll ever remember, I don't know, I'm quite a bit older than you guys. I was born in the late 60s, and my grandpa was raised during the Great Depression. And he told me that they eat turnips. They always called them Hoover apples.
Hoover apples.
Hoover apples. And they never did get to where they did not like them. We ate a lot of beans. I can remember beans was part of your meal every day. And, bought them by the 50-pound bags, not the 1-pound bags at the store.
Yeah.
Kept them in the freezer. And lots of fried potatoes. And the biggest part of the time, if we had meat on the table, is wildlife. Mm-hmm. They got to realize back when you was born and raised and just barely make ends meet, that wildlife is put out there. That's God's creation.
Oh, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And that's to nourish your body, and there is no better nourishment than wildlife. A lot of people don't like squirrel, but I debone my squirrels.
Yeah.
And
We usually on chicken or squirrel and dumplings. How we've done most of
and
ours.
I run it through the tenderizer
Okay.
3 or 4 times, and then my wife will bread it and fry it, and it's just like eating a piece of deer meat.
Yeah.
No
kidding.
bones.
Yeah, that's the problem. You get little bitty bones in there, it kind of be a pain. But if you got proficient with it,
Yeah, and that tenderizing, because I've fried squirrel before, and it's been really tough.
yeah, I've had it real tough. Yeah,
But yeah, I'd say if you
tenderizing. No, I'm gonna try to get back to squirrel hunting again.
You can. That'll sharpen your woodsmanship.
Yeah,
A lot of people don't got woodsmanship.
Yep.
No,
There
it's
is
lost. It's lost in our Onyx and just I want it now and convenience and the e-bikes. I mean, like there's things you've learned to grow and appreciate the benefits instead of being brought into all the benefit.
Back at whenever we'd coon hunt at night, the little dipper, the point of it always faced east.
Really,
That's what, whenever we'd go to the dogs, we'd look at that.
I've heard that. That's,
Then come back in the daylight. My uncle taught me at an early age because I got lost one time and I come out like 5 miles down the road.
Really?
I shouldn't have. And luckily, a guy was there and he had a motorcycle and he brought me back. Of course, I got a flogging over that when I got back to the truck. Next day, he took me out in the woods and he showed me. He said, if you're ever in doubt every 20 yards break a limb on a tree where it's hanging down to find your way out.
Yeah.
That's another lost art. There's no GPS or nothing.
Right. I tried that one time and I got lost, but that's because I just didn't have the woodsmanship to even find my way back out. You guys see things through a different lens. I mean, you really do, and it's been nice having some guys come on that, you know, your age or even some of them younger, you know, like Brad and them and Al, just to understand like what we have right now is just a straight privilege, you know, and it's nice to go back in time a little bit and learn that, you know, even though we got all these things at our disposal, it's you need to get back to your roots and how we were brought up and how you guys were brought up, and to pass that along instead of just going on e-scouting all the time and everything's Google and processed, you know, it's
you learn a lot of them things about the woods by footsteps.
Yeah, boots on the ground.
We found them on the boots on the ground, the saddles, the pinch points, the rolling hills, intersecting holler. That's probably, talking about killing bucks.
I'm going to plug that up.
Intersecting holler is about as good a spot as there is whenever they're rutting.
Well, you got to look for just a seed charger.
Yeah, that ain't working. I don't want to take a chance on it.
Yeah, it's draining pretty fast. Shoot. We're losing her.
Yeah, I'm losing. These cords just ain't staying.
Oh, is it? It's plugged in, but it's just not.
Yeah. Let's try this one. It's always something.
Electronics. Yep.
That'll just try that. See if you can't save it before he goes at 2% right there. Still nothing. I'm losing. What am I losing?
Is it plugged in?
Yeah, it's plugged in.
That ain't.
You know, may have to close her up. I've been using that same cord, but I'm at 2% and losing. Yeah, we'll just shut her down real quick. Sorry about that.
Guys, I appreciate the time.
Yeah,
you
man.
invited me on. I've had a good time.
I have too. Yeah.
Hopefully
Thanks.
I'll come back and get to tell you some more
Oh,
wild
Yeah.
stories.
No, I want to dig in. I'm really out of it. So I'm so tired, and I've kind of been a little quiet. But I appreciate you coming out and doing this. We'll do it again. I want to pick your brain on some more stories. I know there's a lot more in there to get out. And good luck this summer. Go to Wyoming, whether you're fishing or hunting or just traveling safe. And
whenever whenever you get to my age, you live one day at a time.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
that's a blessing.
It's been a blessing to get to come here and share a little bit of knowledge. And
I appreciate it. We'll
Appreciate it,
we'll definitely do it again. Maybe try not to have so many technical difficulties and a little more sleep. But
Yeah.
Swilly, good luck this week. I'll holler at you this weekend.
Heck
You know, if you listen to this, it'll be the following week. Will be in the second week of turkey season. But hopefully, you guys are out there having a good time and being safe in the woods and getting a lot out of it. So,
Yep.
till then, go shoot turkeys, fling some arrows,
Stay wild.
stay wild. See you guys.
We'll see you guys.